Hey everybody, this is Bill from Riverside, Iowa Paranormal, and down here with
Landon.
and,
Michelle. And Kelly.
and we are just going to do a quick review. We were with Ghost Hunts USA, helping with a show, and up at the Beattie Mansion in St. Joseph, Missouri. So I'm going to let Michelle and Landon start first because you guys did Friday night. So why don't you guys kind of talk about Friday night?
Well, we got there close to about 5, and as soon as we walked in, there was some stomping going on. There was some anger that was going on from one particular individual upstairs. Michelle and I both got it picked up on it right away. But the weird thing about Friday was I didn't get a whole lot Friday at all. It was kind of like I was blocked most of the time. But Michelle got quite a bit.
I sure did. I was pretty much overloaded. I did notice that that mansion, it's got different types of activity. During the day when we did a walkthrough, the activity was, I guess some of it was welcoming, some of it was curiosity, but then in the evening time, it was like the whole mansion shifted. I did start talking to the Shannon, who was there with us. She manages that place, and she had stated that a lot of people don't like being there at night because it does shift that way. She can be there all day, not a problem, but as soon as the sun goes down, they're pretty much out of there.
So you guys had never been there before, and Kelly and I have. What was your first? Let's just talk about the building itself. Your first impression of the building.
When we first pulled up, and I looked at the building from the rear, the first thing I got was really bad, almost like a panic attack. It's like the home itself has so many different types of, I guess, feelings almost is what I would call it, and I couldn't tell if it was just me, being anxious going in there, or if it was actually the building, because there was like sorrow, there was anger, there was, almost that fact of craziness. It was like real busy. And then when I walked in and was greeted by Eliza in a very mean way of, "What are you doing here?" I knew it was going to be a great night.
Now, who's Eliza?
She is the woman of the house.
In life form or spirit form?
Spirit form.
Okay, I'm just making sure we don't.
That's Elijah Beattie.
Eliza.
Eliza. I'm sorry, Eliza Beattie. That was Alexander
It was Armstrong.
Armstrong. Sorry.
She's just making up her own family.
She,
Oh my
she just
God.
found all sorts of families. She's like, I found this one and that one and that one and this one.
That's more
Oh,
covered
boy.
dishes that comes to the family reunion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, what about your group from Friday night? How many people did you have? Kind of what was it like?
We had about 11. It was interesting. I mean, there was different types of energy. It wasn't like, a lot of times you get people together, all the energy kind of meshes together. Friday night, it didn't. Everybody had like their own energy. So when trying to put them together, it really made it a little bit difficult. But then as the night went on, as people started really experiencing things together, then the energy actually shifted for them. It was right about 2 o'clock, though. It was like the whole mansion shut down. I mean, it was so quiet, it was kind of eerie.
Wow.
But the crazy thing is, everybody started leaving because it's so cold in there. Only 2 ladies stayed with us, and they are regulars with Ghost Hunts USA, so they go around all over the place. And we were all staying in the parlor, and I kept thinking everybody was getting up to go to the bathroom and doing stuff because the hallways were so busy. There was so much foot traffic, so much chattering. I kept, opening my eyes thinking, well, who's doing all of this? And everybody's sleeping. So it was right about 4 o'clock in the morning almost 5 o'clock in the morning, apologies, that everything like woke up again, like it was time to go to work.
Wow.
Jake, Landon, whatever the heck your name is. I'm throwing names out now too.
Yeah, Friday night was just kind of a, like Michelle said, the energies didn't really mix. They didn't really mesh. So there was a couple. Well, there was a group of 5, but they had a couple that were going to be coming later. So they showed up an hour or two, or maybe even more than that after we'd gotten started.
Bless you.
But Friday night we stayed as one group because there were. It was a small enough crowd.
Yep.
So we all stuck together and went to the same places. But it was really weird because it was almost like what we were expecting. It was almost like it didn't exist or like it left the building. The things we were getting in the afternoon when we were there, it was like a totally different place.
So do you think it has to do with the energy of the people that showed up there with the guests? Or did it just... Because I guess we could actually jump and talk about Saturday night and then compare the two.
Yeah, I think the energy that the guests bring certainly plays a role, because after the couple that showed up a little bit later, during free roam, they were like, well, let's go upstairs, and so Michelle and I were like, okay, we'll go upstairs, but we'll have you tell us where you want to go, and we'll just kind of tag along for the ride. And at that point, like, it was almost like the whole building just came to life for them. And there were a couple... We didn't have everyone with us at that point because it was free roam. So it was kind of interesting to see how that smaller group dynamic and the energy associated with that was totally different than the energy with the whole group. And then being able to see what people were feeling, what they were seeing, what they were hearing, experiencing, those kinds of things. It was totally different, like a complete 180.
So now let's jump to Saturday. So Saturday, we joined you, Kelly and I did, and when we got there, we walked through the house and got everything ready. And I have to say this because I went outside and did some recording and wanted to do some video recording, and I've seen the funniest dang thing I've ever seen in my life. How often can you walk into a big city and hear a noise and look down and see a pot-bellied pig just running up and down the street? I mean, come on. Michelle wanted to take it home with her.
I did.
So then our guests started showing up, and of course I hope the 2 ladies are okay. As they came up the steps, one fell one way and one fell the other, and we heard them giggling and laughing, so that was a good thing. And they came in, and we kind of got everybody started. Had a group that showed up just a little late, but they were fine. Now, that was the first time that we've done the 3-card tarot reading to see how the night was going to go at the Beattie Mansion. Do you want to explain in rough terms, Landon, how that went?
Well, we actually did do it at for our last weekend. That was the very first time we had tried it, and it was just a Saturday. But we had first talked to Shannon and asked her, kind of got her thoughts on it, and she's like, yeah, that's something we've never done before, let's try it. And it was interesting because I've never had a feeling that someone had to be by me for one reason or another. And actually one of the ladies that fell or took a tumble as they were coming up the steps, as I walked past her, something told me that she had to sit by me. And so she was sitting there, and I actually ended up having her cut the deck of cards for me. So we were all sitting there in the circle, and the owner showed up for that. He was there for a few hours and then left. And it was just a quick 3-card reading. There was stuff about men and men of power or prestige, some uncomfortable people getting things that they weren't quite expecting, things they weren't mentally prepared for one way or another. And then also, not exactly combative, but some sort of contention between some of the, I wouldn't say between guests, but between the guests and the house itself and whatever was in the house. Which we did experience. I didn't, but there were some people that did experience a little bit of some contention and a little bit of some hairy situations, if you will.
So then we had everybody there. We did that, then we broke them off into 2 groups. And Landon and I took one group down to that nice, lovely basement, and Kelly and Michelle took a group up to the second floor. And Kelly, you want to kind of explain what went on during your guys' first session up
Well, on the first session, we all went upstairs and we asked for a volunteer. And so one of the ladies volunteered, and we put her in the children's room, and we blindfolded her, and we gave her the headset with the recorder.
Okay.
And we just put her in there by herself. And then as we walked down the hall, we put another person, a gentleman. He was sitting on the floor, and he was blindfolded. And then we went down, and then we put the rest of the ladies, put them each in front of a door, had their back to the door facing out towards us. And then we turned the lights out, and there was a lot of stuff going on in there. Some of them was hearing things. There was some kind of entity or spirit that was behind them, and they did not know it, but they asked, and Michelle says, yes, they are. And so I had to move one of the ladies over by me because there was one that was behind her, and it wasn't a very nice one. And then we would yell down the hall, make sure that the other lady who was blindfolded with the headphones and the recorder was okay, and she said yes.
You blindfolded her with headphones?
No, we had a blindfold on her, and then we put the headphones on with the recorder. Anyway, and so it was fine. And so then I went down there to check on her to make sure she was okay, and she was. And as I was walking back down where everybody else was, there was something following me, and I kind of hurriedly walked back down the hallway back over to where I was standing, and I know that Michelle was going, come on, Kelly, hurry up, there's something behind you, it's following you, come on. And so I did, and then then one of the other ladies says, did you hear that? And she heard something behind her, she could hear something whispering, and so we did that, and then we put about, 5 or 6 in that one room? About 5 people in this one room. It's room 19, I think it was. And we had them all sitting there holding hands, and then we put 2 other girls on the other room with them facing each other, sitting Indian style, holding hands. And the ones in room 19, they were feeling it was cold. They were feeling something in there. And then the gentleman that was down the hallway, he was laying down and he was talking. And then all of a sudden we heard the other lady that was down in the other room. She says, something, it feels like it's burning behind my ear and stuff. So I go running down there. I got her out of there and then brought her back. Because when they get in a situation like that, we don't leave them that way, and we take them back out. But there was a lot of going on there. It was really affecting her really bad, and so it was really, really intense. There was someone that was talking to her and wanting her attention, wanting everybody's attention, because she wanted the truth. She wanted the truth about what happened to her, and we didn't know what the truth was, and so, but we were still trying to figure out, and she kept yelling, and she was screaming, you got to know the truth, I got to know the truth. And so then after a little while we ended the session, and then we went to a break. And then
Well, Michelle, how did you feel on that first session on Saturday?
Well, let's put it this way. The sessions were so intense that even our hostess of the mostess
Shannon!
actually pretty much said she couldn't even handle it. They always talk about how the woman of the house, or the mansion, I guess you would say, is a very dominant role there. And she does a lot of crazy things. She doesn't like men. She doesn't like this. But every man we brought up there and we put in that hallway, not one got touched. They all felt really comfortable, and every one of them wanted to lay down right there on the floor. It happened Friday night, and it happened again last night. We set the one gentleman on the floor blindfolded, and things were all over him. And we noticed the woman of the mansion was not there. She was kind of in the background. It's like something shoving her off to the side. And the one that kept coming out from room 19, she's pretty much trapped there, because the truth has to come out, and I think she can move on from there. As the night went on and we did some other sessions, it got even worse, but she got to the point where I was having a hard time blocking her because she was jumping and being so domineering over everything else. And that would be why I asked you to come with us to room 25.
Is it 25 or 26?
25.
25.
That was during the free time.
And as I was going there, getting some other stuff, when we went back up with some of the other women too, it was so bad. And then, Shannon was trying to figure it out too. And I pretty much told Shannon, she's been trying to tell you. And I think it's been so overwhelming, Shannon's kind of missed it. So now she's actually going to try to see what she could do. But I did know that she said she never died there in that room. It was downstairs in room 25. I believe it's room 25. I just know she said downstairs in that room by the steps. So I didn't know what the number was when we went. And she was brought up there. And something about someone with authority. And that's all she kept repeating all night. And she is so angry and so frantic because she says the truth needs to finally come out.
And she said that I didn't do it, and then the truth finally needs to come out. So that she just kept saying that over and over and over again, and it's just, she was trying to scream at, she was going into everybody's faces, listen to me, I'm trying to tell you, you need to find the truth. But it was just getting really, Michelle was getting really, really overwhelmed, and so it was real intense. It really was.
But our guests felt it. Our guests could feel her presence there.
Cool.
That was what it was. She was coming over so strong. They felt it. They felt, like choking. They felt heaviness. They felt a lot of stuff. So when they were in that situation, they knew something was going on. They also noticed that there was a couple shadows standing next to other people on the wall. That did not add up to how many people walked into that room. So, and then the one guest, with it being so intense there, all of a sudden that whole hallway just got to the point where we were going to be trapped in that room if we didn't leave. So I had told them all, we need to leave now. Do not look up, do not look down, look forward, and walk as fast as you can. And then one of the guests, literally right around their calf and ankle area, got grabbed so hard and pulled like it was trying to pull it down. Full panic mode. Mm-hmm. So we spent a little time outside.
Well, I know, Landon, you and I, on our first set down there, we had the group of 5 people, and we also had the owner of the Beattie Mansion, Michael, who was gracious enough to come on down and be with us, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh, I think he likes the basement.
Yeah, he likes the basement a lot.
I think that's his I think that was his favorite.
So we actually ran the Phasma box and some EMF detectors down there. We tried a couple different people to just listen to the Phasma box on the headset and yell out what they heard, but it wasn't talking in a way that any one of us could understand in that room. It was just so much jumble that we brought the lady out, and we just put it on over a speaker so everyone could hear. And let's see, our first group. What did we get on the first one? The one lady that fell had the face.
Yep.
Someone jumped right
Yep.
in front of her. and she described him as wearing almost like a wrap around his head, like it was cold, but it was an older gentleman, and just jumped right in her face, and she was in the middle of a group of people, so it scared the living crap out of her. So I thought that was really cool. The one lady who kept telling everybody, I'm almost blind, I can't see hardly anything, and all of a sudden, now she's got someone right up in her face, just right there. But then, so that one went on, and we had a few things come across. We had people talking to us. And then you started seeing things down by the steps. No, we're going to go into this. Don't start laughing. You don't get any more coffee till this is over. So before I went down there, can you describe what you were seeing at the bottom of the steps?
So it was just this black shadow, and it was actually squatting, not quite at the base of the steps. It was right on that. So if you were walking down the stairs, it would have been on the left side, where that left side of the stairs was, because it wasn't exactly in the hallway, but it wasn't it wasn't in front of the steps either. It was kind of in that middle portion, and it was just squatting, looking right at us. And then as the Phasma box was going and we were talking, and I was talking about how I was seeing this thing, after a while it stood up, and the way it stood up was almost like it was rolling its back and its shoulders up. And then what does Bill decide to do about a minute or two later?
Bill walked down and stood next to the steps.
He sure did. And then it got crazy from there.
Well, and you describe what you saw, and I'll describe what I felt.
Because what I saw, and the best way I can describe it, and unfortunately it's not a super great way to describe it, but if you've ever seen the Spider-Man movies, and there's Venom.
Okay.
It was something like that, but it wasn't quite as large, nor was it quite as bestial.
Okay.
But it climbed up on your left.
No, you guys.
Yeah, it would have been my left, so it would have been your right side, and it was almost like it was hugging you, and then one of its hands came up on the other side of your face, and I assumed it was a tongue, but I couldn't tell for sure what it was, and just something came out of its face and started going up and down the side of your face.
So I'll tell you what I felt. Before you even started saying that, you had said that, be careful down there. And I was like, okay, I'm good. My left leg and my left arm and the entire left side of my face went ice cold. Just like someone had stuck half my body in the freezer. It was kind of freaky. He goes, you kept saying, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. In my mind, I'm thinking, I think I'm going to let this play out for a minute and just see what I'm feeling here. If I don't like it, I'm going to get the hell out of here. But let's just see what happens. The ladies that were down there with us were really cool about it, because the one lady kept going, you sure you want to stay down there? Are you sure you want to? You can come back. Come on. Bill, why don't you come back? Bill, are you okay? I'm okay. Are you Bill?
And
are you okay?
If I remember correctly, I asked you, I said, Bill, are you okay? And you're like, yeah, I'm good. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, one of them goes, liar.
So then after a while, I decided, okay, then I started hearing you guys come down the steps because it was break time. So then we took everybody up and went to a break, switched groups, and we brought the large group downstairs. And I already had a couple of people. We had one lady who was very much a skeptic, and a gentleman who was very much a skeptic. That really, no, nothing like this has ever happened to us. It's not real. We're along for the ride, but we're open to anything that might happen. So the young lady that said that I'm open to anything, I thought, well, okay, I know the perfect door I'm going to put you into. I put her in the door. When you get down to the bottom of the steps and you turn to the left, it starts working its way back through those hallways. I put her right in that doorway, blindfolded. Ooh. Then I took another lady and put her right at the bottom of the steps. If you turn and you go back left and turn left again, there's a bathroom back there. And I put her with her back to that doorway. And then I kind of, the gentleman who was kind of a skeptic, I actually had him put his back to at the bottom of the steps to where the kitchen is down there. And we placed a couple more, and then Landon gets this idea and grabs the one young lady and goes, come with me.
Well, she walked past me, and as soon as she walked past me, it was just like, I just knew that she had to be elsewhere, and I wish it hadn't been the place that it was. But as soon as I saw her, I was like, you need to come with me. I know exactly where you need to be.
So he sticks her down in that long hallway by herself with a flashlight. Sits her down. There's a chair down there. Puts her down there. And we were just kind of getting started and started to ramp things up. And all of a sudden we hear, holy shit, my flashlight doesn't work. My phone doesn't work. Nothing works. Help!
Well, the interesting thing was she was nervous about being back there because she asked me, she goes, well, if I scream, like, are you guys going to be able to hear me? And I said, yeah, you're not back far enough. We should be able to hear you. I said, and if we don't, I said, there's somebody else in the doorway just a little bit in front of you. If we don't hear you, she will, and she'll tell us, and we'll come get you out, and we'll make sure you're okay. And she goes, okay, as long as someone can hear me, I'm okay with that. And then I just turned around and left her.
He just walks away from her. Good luck. Have fun down here.
I did. I looked at her, I said, have fun, and walked away.
So then he comes out. We start getting things started. That we had people in other, different rooms. We turn on the Phasma box. Everybody's kind of listening. I was trying to explain to them what the Phasma box does, how it works. Pointing out sounds that were coming over the box that weren't real, things that were just, what was the one? Burgers, 15 cents off.
Yeah, it was something really random.
The ghosts are selling burgers? What the heck? So I'm like, no, that would be a radio station that you just picked up, so that's not real. So then we started talking and we started going through some things, and after we got the lady in the hallway a new flashlight, the lady who was a skeptic kept going, I'm hearing a clicking noise. It sounds like a light switch turning on and off. Okay, where's it coming from? She goes, right to my left. Okay, just stay there, keep talking, let us know if you hear anything else. The gentleman who had his back to the kitchen, I looked up and he keeps spinning around and looking, He's like, and it wasn't 15 minutes into the whole session, and he had his back to the door, and then he spins around, he starts staring into the kitchen area, and he goes, oh, hell no. And he turns around and walks clear out to the middle of the room where we were at. He goes, I'm going to stay right here. I don't want to be there. And the lady again I hear that clicking noise. It's on and off behind me. And we thought at first it might be water, because there might be water dripping somewhere. After everything was said and done, we took all our flashlights and we started looking for water. There was no water to be seen back there. So there was no dripping. So she started playing with the light switch that was right there next to the door, turning it on and turning it off. She goes, that's exactly what it was. It was clicking on and off. It's like, well, were you doing it? No. I go, well, there's only one person behind you, and she was clearing the hallway, and she wasn't there very, very long before we had to bring her out. So no one's behind you. No one's back there at all. So we bring her out. Well, the lady from the hallway. We keep going on things. And then the weirdest thing happened when I walked over towards the piano where you were standing, and I put my back to the one doorway, and it felt like somebody smacked me upside the head. I was like, God, my ear is burning.
You heard the hit, too.
Everyone heard it. And I'm going, I didn't hear any hit. I just got this burning sensation like somebody just upside my head. And the one lady that was doing some videoing, and I hope she's going to try to send us the video, she goes, you just got slapped. I go, how do you know? She goes, we asked, does it feel like you got slapped? And over the Phasma box goes, I slapped him.
Oh, wow.
But wait. So I started talking, and then all of a sudden he goes, Bill, shut up. So, good group of people. We had a lot of fun with them guys. The energy was really high, it seemed like, all night long. Then we went to free time. And we got to do a couple of things that haven't had a chance to do, and that was during free time, we got to walk off. It was Michelle, Kelly, and I think you guys already talked about it a little bit, where we got to do a little bit on our own. We tried out the new SLS camera and walked around for a bit, talked with people. Some of the people were, still running around. We had the Phasma box going in the basement that people really were talking through there. And then we went into the dining area and sat down, and this is all going to be on the video later on that I'm going to post. But we actually got a chance to kind of interview some of the guests, and we've never actually done that before. I know, Michelle, you said it felt like it was the time that it needed to be done.
Yeah, for some reason, I was getting the feeling that that interview had to be taken care of.
And it was an awesome interview, especially if you don't like wet eggs. Um, it'll all be on the video. You got to watch it to figure it out. So then we kind of decided that, everybody started winding down, and we called it quits for the night, and everybody went to sleep. Now, being the gracious host that I am, I went outside and slept in the vehicle so everyone in the building could get some sleep because I snore. And I didn't want people to hear a monster in one of the rooms just making a shitload of noise. But I want to know what you guys heard inside when you were laying down, other than snoring.
I didn't hear anything. The guests were trying to get settled, and they finally got settled. And but other than that, I didn't hear anything, really. Not at all. Unless it's on the recorder, because we had a recorder going after everybody laid down, and we had a recorder going, so there may be something on that, so I'm not for sure.
Michelle, did you hear anything or feel anything while you were laying there on the couch?
It was just busy in the hallway again. I just kept thinking everybody was getting up again. I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? Is it them or isn't them? I don't care. So I just stayed with my eyes closed because we did have a long drive back today. So, but yeah, it seems like between that 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, it's like hustle bustle there.
And every alive person is asleep.
Correct.
Yep.
And every spirit person decides they're going to get up.
Well, I guess. And I mean, there's a lot of chitter chatter. There's like a lot of conversations going on, like tons of it. It's almost like, I almost feel like that one's residual because it was the same timing. And I'm thinking that is something residual in this place because the chitter chatter sounded the same too. It wasn't like different. It was just a continuous, like someone's playing a movie. So I'm hoping we caught something on the recorder. We left it on all night. We've probably got snoring on there. We probably got some passing gas, some moans, some groans.
And that's just from the people that were sleeping there.
Correct. So,
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how much we cut out of there to see what we actually did catch.
So then our guest got up, we wound down everything, cleaned up everything, and we got ready to go. When you were leaving the building, how did everyone feel, other than tired? Because I know every one of us is tired.
They felt great. They thanked us. They said that they had an awesome time, even though some of them got scared.
No, okay, I
But
understand
other
with
than
the guests, but what about you three? How did you guys feel when we were leaving?
I felt great.
I feel like I wasn't supposed to leave because there's a job that's not finished yet. It's still really weighing heavy on me. I'm having some difficulties today. But
Do you think that what's going on in between 25 and 19, in the room 25 and room 19, what's going on there has an effect or is affecting Eliza in any way? In what she's trying, would it be that she's trying to draw attention to that?
I'm not really sure. There was a lot of stuff there that wasn't part of the mansion. There was a lot of busyness, and so I think that new busyness that's coming through is kind of taken away from what normally is there. So now you've got 2-3 different things going on, and that mansion has taken on a lot right now. So I'm not really sure. But I really thought from the way of the dominance that she's supposed to carry and the way she was the first day I walked in there to what she was at Friday night and Saturday, some things just, I don't know. I can't explain it right now. I'm trying to make sense of it in my own head, I guess you could say. So it's really hard to explain at this point. It sounds more like gibberish me talking right now.
So you guys were also, again, because I go to you guys because the only thing I feel is cold and then punched and hit and bricks and things like that. You guys were talking about there was things in the basement that were trying. Kelly, you said when you went down to turn on that circuit breaker, something tried to follow you up that wasn't normally the last time we were there.
Right.
Can you describe what that was? what you think, what maybe what it just looked like or what it felt
I
like?
didn't see it, but I could just feel that there was something behind me, and so I couldn't tell you what it looked like or anything like that. It's just that I knew it was there, and I knew I needed to hurry up and get up the stairs. And as soon as I got up the stairs, I shut the door, which I know, shutting the door, they can still come through the door. But anyway, it's just I shut the door, and then I didn't feel it anymore. So I'm not really sure what it was. So, and I was down there by myself because I had to go turn the circuit breaker back on, and it was weird. You just get this feeling like somebody's behind you, and that's what I got. And it's like, I don't like this. I need to hurry up and get out of here.
Now, Michelle and Landon, can you guys say that they were crawlers, but they weren't crawlers? Would that be a good way to say it, or to describe it? A lot of silence there.
It was just weird, just because now Friday night I didn't see them Friday night. Michelle was talking about them, and she had referenced something that she had seen the weekend before, and I didn't see it then either. But Saturday night, when we were down in the basement, that was what stood up, and it was like it was rolling its back and its shoulders up and back, and it didn't move like a normal spirit would, but it didn't stay close to the ground either, like what I've seen crawlers do. So I don't really know how to describe it. It was just this really weird thing.
Well, that's like when we were up on the second floor, and Michelle says there was a second session, and and she told us we need to hurry up and go, and her and I was walking down first, and the guests were behind us, and she's saying, Kelly, we need to get out of here. There's crawlers all over the walls. I says, I know, and let's get these people out of here, and that's when we did, and then that's when that woman screamed because she got her pant leg pulled on, and so they were up there too, and they were all over up there. Whether they were on the ceiling, whether they were on the walls, whether they were on the floor, they were just all over, and they were just trying to close us in, and that's why we had to hurry up and get all the guests out of there.
Cool. So, then we packed up and we left, and then this is where we throw our little free commercial out. If you get a chance and you're down near Bethany, Missouri, stop into Toot Toots. It sounds stupid, but stop into Toot Toots and eat dinner. Have breakfast. Some dang good food.
Definitely.
Go ahead and, look us up anywhere you want to. Find out where we're going to be. And we'd love to see you guys there. Now, final question. We'll start with Kelly first. Would you go back to the Beattie Mansion?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Landon?
In a heartbeat.
Well, I'll definitely go back. And we'd like to have anybody who's listening, come on out there. Find the tickets on ghosthuntsusa.com and get them, and we'll get back to the Beattie Mansion, and we'll see you there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. I know all four of us are really tired, so we're going to cut this short. Michelle, Kelly, Landon, thank you guys for an awesome weekend.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys in the dark.